Hello, welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is the match preview. Republic of Ireland take on Qatar at the Aviva Stadium tomorrow evening. I'm joined by Gary once again because Paul Tierney has cleared off for work and we're here to do the preview of the game. Looking forward to it. Another game in the Aviva with fans and hopefully another win for Stephen Kenny's side. Gary, how are you feeling going into this one off the back of that result?
Yeah, look, it was great to get the win on Saturday. Obviously, Saturday was a lot more important because it was a competitive game. But it is nice to, Stephen, having got that win, to have fans and quite a lot of fans. I'm really, really surprised because the FAI announced that there's over 20,000 tickets sold, which is absolutely
21.
fantastic.
21,000, yeah.
Oh, 21, yeah. So even better. Fantastic to actually see. And the limit is, which I thought was actually a bit of a joke. I said, well, it doesn't really matter what the government say if the limit's 24 or 25,000. But we actually could even sell it out at this point then if the limit is actually, which it is, and I appreciate that with COVID. Hopefully that limit is lifted for Portugal next month because I think we can fill the Aviva for that one without doubt. But that's fantastic support, and it is great to see. And the tickets are only €20. And it is a chance
Euro if
for
you're Gary Spain.
So yeah, well, the FEI did sell 1,921 tickets at €1 each, which was great to see as a centenary offer to season ticket holders. I'm sure people snapped that up. I did anyway, as well as you say. But that was a great deal. Thank you. But I think €20 is a great deal to see our national team as well. And those €20 tickets are still available. I think is it a fiver for kids, Paul?
I think
that's
so, yeah.
what it is. Yeah, I'm not 100%, but certainly it's even cheaper if you want to bring kids along. So what a chance to go along and see Stephen Kenny's side in the Aviva tomorrow night. And hopefully, as you say, we'll get another win and we can build on Saturday. But I'm actually more interested. Look, I don't think this match matters as much. Off air, we were talking about group tables and everything, and there are two different tables for this group because Qatar, as you probably know, are in. So they've been added by UEFA to Group A. Now, obviously, they're hosts of the World Cup, so they're already qualified. And the results against them don't matter in the final table, so they don't affect qualification. But I'm sure they're using it as a test to see where they stand against UEFA nations of obviously varying standards, everything from Azerbaijan to Portugal. And I am obviously we can't qualify for the World Cup, but ideally, from my perspective, just from a sense of pride, I'd like to see us finish third in the table of UEFA countries, which probably means we need to beat Luxembourg and actually hope Luxembourg don't win in Azerbaijan. And also finish third ahead of Qatar as well, which probably means we need to win tomorrow night and also beat Luxembourg. So, look, we're only playing for pride at this stage, and it is one eye to next year's Nations League, which is very, very important. And people often don't realise and just say it's only the Nations League. The Nations League has always been important for all sorts of things. For seeding, it can get you a playoff for the World Cup. I was studying the tables only yesterday on the flight. Wales are more or less guaranteed a playoff for the World Cup, even if they don't finish second ahead of the Czech Republic. And that's down to the Nations League. The Czech Republic will probably get a playoff if they don't finish ahead of Wales. So one or the other of them are going to be almost certainly in a playoff. And I reckon actually Austria are going to get a playoff as well, even though they're having a horrible World Cup qualifying campaign and some really embarrassing results. And so unfortunately, we have no chance of getting a playoff, obviously, but you had to win your Nations League group. But it is very important. I know I'm going a bit off topic here, but it is very, very important, the Nations League. And so using games like tomorrow night, either to go with the same 11 or a very strong 11 and just win the game, build confidence, build understanding, or else maybe Stephen wants to experiment. I think he certainly earned that right. And if he wants to make 7, 8, 9 changes and just experiment, he certainly earned the right to do that as well. Obviously, the result becomes less significant and less important if we do put out a very different team. it will be interesting to see what he's going to put out. To be honest, I have no real idea. Maybe we'll get more of an indication in the press conference later on.
I don't know why I went mute there for a sec. That's back. I would say Kelleher or Travers will probably play. So I think I don't mind if Gavin Bazunu sits this one out. We know what qualities he's bringing, and he's been brilliant. If Stephen wants to keep that bit of continuity at the back, that's fine. But I think Gallagher would probably play against these. And I know it was a Hungary game, or was the last Qatar game he played against, and he was really good. I can't remember now, but
he got half the game against Hungary, if I remember rightly, in Budapest.
But he's really good.
Yeah. Oh, look, he's excellent. I mean, he really does look a top keeper, and I mean, it's not my opinion that matters. A much more important opinion is that of Jurgen Klopp, who trusts him to be number 2 at Liverpool, one of the top clubs in the world in football, and he's the number 2 goalkeeper, backing up Alisson Becker, who's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, certainly in the top 3, 4, 5 anyway. So that's how good he is, and we're so lucky to have him. And then you can say that, and then he's not even our number 1 because Gavin Bazunu has been so good for us later. So we're really blessed in the goalkeeping position. And people may argue further up the pitch that we don't have the players, but we certainly do in nets in number 1, and we do at the back as well.
Well, I think it's important. The last time we played these, I think it was after the Serbia game, Stephen Kenny went with players that probably you wouldn't have expected him to go with, younger players. Then he brought back the tried and trusted against Qatar. We took the lead with the early McLean goal, the set piece. That was obviously worked on with Anthony Barry. That's where we started kind of seeing the kind of fruit of his labours there, and us getting a goal from the set piece there. I think Darrell Hogan was heavily involved in that as well. As you mentioned, with the group, the way the group is on the Nations League app, which is actually a really good app. I mean, they don't sponsor us or anything like that, but if you want to go download their app, it is quite good. And you can pick Republic of Ireland, go in and look at the stats and everything like that, really good. So Portugal sit top of the group with 19 points, Serbia are on 17 points, Qatar are on 8 points, Luxembourg are on 7 points, we're on 6 points, and Azerbaijan are on 1 point. But I think what you said there is very important to note, is the fact that we do have to be finishing this group very strongly. I appreciate Portugal's probably a free hit, but if we can replicate some of the performance that we did away from home, we were excellent in that game. We were unfortunate towards the end, and I appreciate Ronaldo is Superman, so he came along and destroyed us in the end. But I think if we can finish with maybe win against Qatar, win against Luxembourg, and some sort of result against Portugal, I think then people will be going into the next campaign optimistic that Stephen Kenny and this team can maybe do something for the European European Championship qualifiers then, and hopefully get us to that tournament. But just in regards to Qatar, the last time we played, they were quite good. They're very good on the counter attack. They're quick. They're good technically. They have no major standout players, but as you said, I think you mentioned this at the top of the show or before, either off air, but they have been playing together for a while, and they've been testing themselves against other teams to see how they're doing. And to be fair, they haven't done too badly in the games that they played. And I know you'd said on the app that they didn't mention the Portugal result the other night, but I think Portugal, you look at the quality they have, they should beat most teams comfortably anyway. And the fact that Serbia are doing so well against them shows that Serbia are quite a good side as well.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, we was off air, so let me do it again for the benefit of those watching. So, as everyone knows, they're the hosts of the World Cup next year, and they want to put on a real show for people who are going to travel there. I'm certainly going to go there. I don't know if too many others are, but they have been very much building for that and building a team. And that's why they're effectively in our group, even though they're not in our group, if you know what I mean. It's only the matches against Portugal, Serbia, Luxembourg, etc. that matter for qualification and decide who wins the group, who gets a playoff. But Qatar get to play everybody home and away again as well. And that's a real test for them for the World Cup next year, to see where they stand against a top one of the top nations in the world that Portugal are. Serbia are pretty decent. You can draw your own opinions about us. And then you have the likes of Azerbaijan, they get to play them as well. But it's not just that. They also got to play in the CONCACAF Gold Cup in the summer, and they got to the semi-finals. And I think it was USA beat them in the end. And so they are a decent enough team. Now, I don't think they're going to be much of a threat to the Brazils and Argentinas or anything in the World Cup next year. But they want to be competitive. I mean, if you look at the traditional hosts, I mean, Russia did really well the last time as hosts. They got to the quarterfinals when many didn't expect it to get them out of the group. South Africa, I think, are the only ones off the top of my head that failed to get out of their group as hosts. But they did have a decent World Cup. They beat France and, they lost out to Uruguay and Mexico, if I remember rightly. But Qatar, it's going to be tough for them to get out of their group. I'm sure that is their target. For hosts of the World Cup next year, they're going to want to at least get to the round of 16. And from their perspective, that will be a hugely successful World Cup. And I don't think any team is going to spend as much time together. I think nearly all the players are playing in their domestic league, so they're available for the national team whenever needs be. They were also meant to play in the Copa America, the South American Championship, but unfortunately because of COVID, that wasn't possible. But they are playing lots and lots of games. They're also playing their own Asian Championship. They've managed to get those rearranged because I think they were actually meant to be playing games in the Asian Championship when they were playing us in March in Hungary in Debrecen. So there will be a test and there will be a threat. But I would still be hopeful that we could beat them, and especially if we go with our full strength side. And they will actually be hoping we send out a full strength side as well, because they'll want to test themselves. And this will be a kind of a test to see the levels where they're at, because they were able to beat the likes of Azerbaijan. They got a 3-0 hammering the other night by Portugal. But they stayed in that game for a long time as well. Portugal put 3 past them in September. Serbia put 4 past them. But they haven't lost to us, Azerbaijan or Luxembourg yet either. So they're decent enough. They beat Luxembourg as well, if I remember correctly, and they will be a test. They won't be easy to beat. And I think people can look, and I know people are mistaking them for Oman as well, who we have played on a few occasions and always beat pretty comfortably. They are better than Oman. It will be a much bigger test than Oman provided for Giovanni Trapattoni's side, and indeed for Martin O'Neill's. But it will be an interesting game. It's a friendly. I'm delighted there's over 21,000 going to be there. My own prediction for the attendance was a hell of a lot smaller than that, and I'm delighted to be wrong, because it's going to create an atmosphere, etc. And I believe those of you who do go along are going to have a really entertaining game and a good night, and hopefully an Irish win.
Yeah, well, I think what you said there, the fans are going to play a huge factor in this. You go back to the game; it was in a neutral venue. You were at that game in Debrecen, and we did look like we were lacking that little bit, that extra push that we probably needed. And I think we should go into this game optimistic off the back of the result in the last couple of games. I think players like Ogbene and stuff like that, I think they should start this game. And I think that we should try and get at them early, like we did against Azerbaijan, and try and get the early goal. Just on this Nations League app, it has their last 5 games, and I know you had mentioned that they didn't include the Portugal result there recently. But just going back to March, they beat Azerbaijan 2-1, then they drew with us 1-1, then they lost 4-0 to Serbia, 3-1 to Portugal they lost, and then last month they drew 1-1 with Luxembourg. I think you said then that they played Portugal and lost 3-0. as well. So, I mean, they're not exactly going out and hammering teams. You know what I mean? They're probably doing as well as we are. We obviously beat Azerbaijan 3-0 and probably could have beaten them by about 6. But anyway, in terms of the Portugal result, we probably got a better result there because we conceded less than them. But the Serbia game, we done better against Serbia as well. So Luxembourg, they drew it. We were obviously beaten by Luxembourg. But I go into it.
I think they actually beat Luxembourg, if I remember rightly, on the opening
before that. I think it was
series of matches. Yeah, so I think they've actually beaten Luxembourg and Azerbaijan at home in Hungary in Debrecen and drawn with us, and they haven't. Uh, they haven't. They got the draws as
Yeah.
well. So they've done. I mean, if you look at it from their perspective, okay, they have taken probably hammerings against Serbia and Portugal that we haven't, but against the likes of ourselves, Azerbaijan and Luxembourg, they're still unbeaten, which is I'm sure they'll be pretty proud of that, and they'll probably want to get at least a draw tomorrow night as well.
Yeah, but look, we'll see how it goes because I don't look at this game as something that we should be fearing to go in against these. We should be going in with optimism off the back of a really good result and looking to build momentum now because we've been going so long without wins. So I think this is a game that we have to go, try and score a couple of goals, get the crowd behind us, make it intimidating for Qatar. The crowd need to make it intimidating for Qatar. If we have any sort of atmosphere like we did with the Serbia game, I think we'll be fine. I think to help that helped the lads get over the line. I think if he sticks with largely the same defence, Josh Cullen in midfield, be interested to see if Jason Knight comes back in. Evan Maher in the comments there is saying Adam Eden needs to score a goal soon, so it would be interesting to see does he start and maybe get a goal. I would like to see Troy Parker and Connolly come in, cause them problems. We spoke about their pace and attack. I would like to see us with a bit of that as well, Ogbene as well. So it'd be interesting. I'll be doing a starting 11 show tonight, and I haven't even thought of our 11 to start, but it fills me with a lot of confidence that some of the players that didn't play the other night that are still really good, I can actually put them into that starting 11 and look at it that way. But what you said is correct, that there is players that need to build up a relationship on the pitch and play, rather than just be thrown in with different players every single time they play, because you can't build up that understanding, as you mentioned. That's why I think it's really good with the defence and Josh Cullen have that understanding now where he can get the ball on the half turn always and be ready to give it. And I think that's where Hendrick actually comes in and is important, because he has the solid base behind him that he can work on that. It'll be interested to see, does he go with Jamie McGrath? It'd be interested to see, does he go with Troy Parrott? Does he play James Collins? There is options around, which Stephen hasn't really ever had, different options to choose from. He's usually been had players taken away from him, and then he has to fill in a gap. Now he's actually had probably his first choice team, you would say. Maybe just Callum O'Dowd or a couple of others that he might like to have, who he started with when he first came in. But I think largely he has the majority of the players that he would want there to choose from. So there should be no excuses going into this game. We're talking about finishing the group strong, or this friendly game. But we do want to finish the group strong. I would like us to finish third in the group and finish ahead of Luxembourg, ahead of Qatar, and just behind Portugal and Serbia. So that's what we should be aiming for. That should be at our bare minimum standard, is that we want to get at least 2 wins now against Qatar and Luxembourg. The pressure's off Stephen a little bit, but we haven't fully turned the corner. So we do have to just see how this game goes. We can't afford to lose the game, especially at home. I will say that I don't think we can afford to lose the game, because I just think after going and winning, and then if we lost, then you're looking at the fans and the naysayers are straight back on Stephen's case. So I would like to see us get the victory, finish the group strong, and then fans are optimistic going into the Euro campaign, as I mentioned earlier on, and fans are behind Stephen Kenny, because largely a lot of them are, and you can see a lot of our younger players coming through there, and it is exciting to see so many young players coming through from the 21s, making the jump up. Jason Knight didn't even play the other night, and he could be a contender to come in, because I know he was ill, but he could be a contender to come in and play as well in the midfield, and he's a brilliant option and addition to have in there as well. So there is lots to look forward to and lots to play for. And as well, anyone who's maybe thinking of going to the game that hasn't bought a ticket yet, it's your chance to see players like Gavin Bazunu for the first time that you may not have seen. Well, he might actually play this game for you. You might be a Liverpool fan and you might want to see Queevy and Kelleher play. So go along and see him, because he is probably just as good, I would say. So I think and you've players like Omobama Deli. Probably you get to see Nathan Collins' debut as well, who I think is going to be a real star in the making in the future. And you've got players like Jason Knight, Troy Parrott, who you may not have seen as well, Aaron Connolly as well. I think Aaron Connolly should be coming into this game with something to prove. The fact that he didn't get game time against Azerbaijan, unless he was injured or something like that. But you'd imagine he'd be coming in hungry to try and get himself on the score sheet or make an impact, which is what we want to see him making an impact and helping that we can get a result, and hopefully see a couple of the younger lads maybe getting their first goals. I know Troy's got his, but the other lads, maybe Adam Ida, maybe Aaron, as we said, Shieldozi's got off the mark as well, which I thought was big as well, because it gives players that lift. Maybe Callum Robinson to play a bit as well, and maybe get another goal to add to his tally as well. Bit of a ramble, but it is.
You've mentioned almost everyone except Will Keane, who was another one we might see.
Well, he was left out of the squad, wasn't he?
Yes. So he was left out of the matchday squad against Azerbaijan, but Stephen did call him into the squad. So maybe he wants to get a look at him as well. But yeah, there's so many possibilities. I think, look, good luck with your starting 11. I'm glad it's going to be the team you want to see rather than trying to predict Stephen's team, because it's very hard to know. And I do go back to the point I made, though, that you mentioned we don't want to lose the game. If he makes 6, 7, 8 changes, we do run the risk of losing the game. And
that's true. Yeah.
Does that bring all the naysayers, the doubters back? So maybe Stephen is having half a night to say, look, we had a great win on Saturday. We won 3-0. Can't be any critics of that. Go out and win again. Go forward to next month. Look, I think all we can ask is a performance against Portugal. I think a result, a draw at home to Portugal, will be a fantastic result. But in reality, I think we need just a performance. I'd be very happy with that, because Portugal are going to have to win, because Serbia are breathing down their necks. We've possibly cost Serbia winning the group by that late equaliser in Dublin. So Portugal are going to have to beat Luxembourg at home tomorrow night, and they're going to have to come to Dublin and beat us before they face Serbia on the last day. But I think if we win tomorrow night and also beat Luxembourg away, which is no gimme, next month, I think that will, and put it in a performance against Portugal, I think that will take the pressure off and it should remove the discussion about whether Stephen Kenny gets replaced as manager. I think he at least gets to see out his contract, which does run until the end of June and does cover the March friendlies and the 4 important Nations League games that are taking place next June. So I think Stephen is going to, in fairness, I think he's going to have an eye to that, and he's going to say, well, I won't take any more doubts out about my job, because the positive way to look at it is, and it's correct way, is we've lost one of our last 7 games, and that defeat was, well, it was desperately unlucky and to one of the top players, if not the top player in the world, Ronaldo, and to not so nice refereeing as well. So that's his only defeat in the last 7 games, and hopefully that'll be 1 in 8, and then taking that into the Portugal game next month. So yeah, my ramble now, Paul. Sorry, going off all over the place, but yeah, we can get back on track.
Yeah, no, I think we've pretty much covered all the bases. Do you know what I mean? We love going to the Aviva and getting to see the team play, whether it's a friendly or whether it's a qualifier. We obviously love the fact that the fans, last time we got, the last game we were at against Serbia, there were so many fans coming up to us, and it was just great to see the fans and interact with them and stuff like that. There's fans of the show and stuff like that who like to stop and have a chat about Ireland and stuff like that. So I love the build up. I love everything about the games. So look, if you're thinking of going, there's still tickets there. And it's it's a good case to get out with your mates and just go watch a game and see, because a lot of people haven't seen this new team and seen what they're like. So I think you come along, because there has been good performances there. It might not look like it on the TV, but you can see passages of play that have looked really well, and we've been crying away from the old ways of Mick McCarthy, Martin O'Neill, Trapattoni, to a new kind of style of playing, of building from the back, and Gavin Bazunu catching players over the top and beating the press to try and get us up the pitch and stuff like that. So I would recommend going. Not that I may get any money out of it or anything like that, but I would recommend going and just get behind the team, because if we do start doing well again, and there'll be an outcry for tickets then you might not get any. So it's good to build up a little bit of loyalty as well. I think that's it, Gary. I'm going to get your prediction, and then we'll finish it up and you can go about your day. It's a nice sunny day out there, and I know you'd like to get out for your walk. So give us your prediction, and we'll be on our way.
Yeah, so I'm going to go for a 2-1 home win, a 2-1 win for Ireland.
That's the first time you've probably predicted a win, I think.
Oh, no, I definitely predicted a win against Andorra, and I did against Azerbaijan at home as well. And
Well, you weren't on the preview, so I
no,
can't say.
yeah, I wasn't on I would have predicted a win for Saturday as well. It's easy to say that.
Okay,
I probably wouldn't have predicted 3
yeah.
0 in fairness, but I did predict home wins against Azerbaijan, away wins against Andorra anyway. And I
So
also predicted a win against Luxembourg. Unfortunately, got that one badly wrong in March.
didn't we all?
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, you're going 2-1 goal scorers off the top of your head.
I'm going to go with Dozie Bennett, the former Limerick FC player, to get one, and what do you say? I think he'll go with maybe only one or two changes. So how about Jeff Hendrick to come through from midfield with a goal? Another man that's been a bit run down a bit lately. So Dozie Bennett and Jeff Hendrick.
Not bad, not bad. I'd probably go. I'm gonna go same scoreline as you said. I think they will score, but I think we'll have scored by then. I think the crucial part is us getting the first goal. I would like to see that, like we did in Hungary. So I'm gonna go 2-1. And I'm gonna go Callum Robinson to get a goal, and Shane Duffy from a corner, a Josh Cullen corner.
Okay.
So that would be my prediction. I'd love Duffy to finish on a real high to the international campaign in front of the Irish fans. I actually thought the goal against Serbia went in off his arse. From where I was sitting, it looked like it hit off him, and he went off wielding that in celebration. And the fans just absolutely love him. I think it would be a great reception if he did score, and we end the international campaign on a real high. Or even if Robinson got the winner, I'd be delighted with that in front of the home crowd as well. That would be amazing as well. So yeah, I think that's it. Let us know your thoughts. How do you think the game will go? Are you optimistic? Are you going to the game? Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe. And if you see us around the Aviva, come over, say hello. We're not shy and we don't bite, so come over and say hello and have a chat. Always good to chat with fans of Ireland and obviously fans of the channel as well. So yeah, Gary, having a good day. I'll chat to you later on.
Yeah. Cheers.
And happy birthday, Seamus Coleman.